I'm here with Gregory Christie, who is the illustrator of Jazz Baby, which is a book that we sent to the 0 to 2 Jambo subscribers in June 2018. We've gotten a lot of love for Jazz Baby, and so what I wanted to start out asking you about is, how did you get involved in illustration? How did you know that you wanted to be an artist?
For me, I was born into that. Like when I was a little kid, I had just this affinity to paint and draw. As with most kids, I was coloring, and coloring led to drawing, and I used to look at comic books. And I was very shy as a kid. I would even say painfully shy. I really did not like being around people as much as just being in and doing art and painting. And it got to the point, people kept telling me, "You're a good artist," or they kept asking me, did I trace something? And the reality is, it just was kind of this natural progression. And when I got to art school, then I decided to go into commercial art. I felt fine art would be a different road, that I didn't want to travel. And I felt commercial art would be the way to go. Children's books was not on my radar at that time. I was doing record covers, so a lot of people who love jazz know my Coltrane album covers. I did Joe Sample, Jimmy Buffett, I did George Benson, I did lots of album covers. It was funny, but I got into children's books through painting in nightclubs. I used to paint for a company called Giant Step Records. They would throw parties in New York, and they would love having live painters on the stage painting while musicians played music to DJs mixing. And it just came about that doing live party paintings led to doing record covers, which led to my first children's book. And when I first got my job to do The Palm of My Heart, poetry by African American children, I just took it almost as another freelance job. And then that book won the Coretta Scott King Honors. This is in '96. And that is, I didn't realize it, but it was a big achievement from your first book. And from that point on, I started to realize that I could almost like right or wrong. And what I mean by that is that I could keep a balance in curriculum. I could have children of color see themselves as heroes. I can do books about just children of color as just normal people. It doesn't have to be slaves or the ghetto, or just normal people, normal loves and hates and desires, just being human. And I like doing books that either deal with history or culture. So that's where it came about.
Okay, that is fascinating. And that's actually a lot of what Jambo Books is about, just trying to show children of color in very regular, everyday activities.
Sure.
To show that we're just normal too. So is that part of what led you to open this store? What made you feel led to open a store, and actually 2 stores now?
In one sense, I feel like I made it. In my 20s, I was not doing any kind of day job, and every job previous to that was an art store or a gallery or a museum or artist assistant. I had a passion in life, I followed it, and it fulfilled my voids. I felt really good, I feel good. And I think other people should feel that way. And I also don't like to complain about society. I want to look and say, oh, these kids, or why are their pants down? Why are they not reading more? Why? You got to do something. You can sit and complain and talk and talk and talk and talk, but nobody remembers you for what you have or what you gained. They remember you for what you did. And I think it's important, if you're in a position you can help people, try to. They're not ready sometimes to be helped, but you keep going and keep sticking at it, and eventually, hopefully, things catch up. And Perimeter Mall is in Dunwoody, Georgia. And it's on Ashford Dunwoody Road, and it's a pretty big complex. I'm near the Macy's, not too far from the Disney store. And here, there's all kinds of services.
So tell me more. I understand you have autographed children's books, which is awesome. How do you get those?
I have a lot of friends in the children's book industry, so I also am starting to open up to local artists. The vision for the store right now is not self-published books. I like to work more so with books that are published traditionally, but not every book is signed here. I also just do books that I love and I think kids need to have, or I think would be good for a home. My books are signed, of course. There's artwork connected to the books, and then beyond that, beyond those products, you have the services of paint parties for adults. You have art classes for young people, art workshops where you can come in and learn something specific. It's really a unique space because it's my answer to technology.
Where did you get the name for Gas Art?
Well, it's a conversation piece. People come in, what's gas? They make jokes, oh, gas, and but it's gregarious art statements. And gregarious meaning I bring people together through art and literacy. All these kids, all these adults, all these ethnicities, northern or southern, everybody sits at the same table, and we get connected through art. And most of the people get connected also. Sometimes the draw is the children's books. They just come in, they feel like, oh, I got to see this. So once they come in and see it's not just a bookstore, the store begins to have layers, and it's a bit more unique.
Absolutely.